Hello, and welcome to Weed and Grub.
I just needed a deep breath before we started because I'm real high and real happy. And so I just needed to like center myself to be able to record an intro because that was really fun.
That was the ultimate. I mean, the moment when the door opens and that delivery showed up, and then a few minutes later, the door opened again and another different kind of delivery showed up. We were just showered in weed and food.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
I just want to cut to the chase and say, what's up, Mary Jane?
How is it going, Mike?
It's going well. How's it going?
Really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Weed and Grub, everyone. This is a podcast about comedy,
Cannabis,
culture,
cooking,
calling shit out.
and fried chicken.
Yep, chicken and chickadees.
And weed with Sweet Chick.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
It was the greatest. We will get to our very fun hang with Sweet Chick founder John Seymour in a minute. But first, we're just gonna like munch on some of this fucking
It's
food,
so
right?
hard because I see it out of my periphery.
I'm staring at this
and
fried
I want to
chicken.
talk to you,
Yeah.
but also when there's like great food around and
Yep.
sandwiches and biscuits,
It's hard.
and I can see it. Like, look, you're holding your hands together.
I'm holding the insides of my thighs.
And my legs are crossed, trying to get me to stop from standing up and grabbing more.
I think we have to record the intro, and then on our break, we will just house the food.
Oh, so it's a goal treat.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do a goal
That's
treat.
the carrot.
Yeah,
If we get through this intro.
I like the idea of our carrot being a dangling piece of fried chicken.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that makes me think of like an anglerfish. You know,
Uh-huh.
the way you drew that. But instead of that little light, he's just got a little drumstick.
I'd fall for it
dangling.
every time.
Right.
Every time.
Absolutely.
If I was walking down the street and I saw a drumstick dangling from an alley,
Yeah, you would go for it,
I
right?
would bite that drumstick, and that land angler fish would just gobble me up.
Yep. Did you ever see that video? I feel like I've talked to you about it maybe years ago, though. The Ewan McGregor walking on a beach short film where there's an eclair on the beach.
Yeah.
And Ewan, it's like pre-train spotting days.
They
I
do it
feel like.
POV from the eclair too, right? So
Yeah.
it's Ewan McGregor's face.
Yeah, it's just an eclair sitting on a beach and you see him way far off, and then he walks up and he gets close, he bends down, he picks it up, he bites into it, and then he gets yanked into the ocean with a hook in it. And it's like, I mean, it's a pretty simple joke, but man, is it fucking well done and funny and weird. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, shocked.
I
The
gasped too.
idea.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bit more gruesome than I expected.
So gruesome.
It was pretty violent.
Very upsetting.
But I would do it if there was a fried chicken there. That'd
Yeah.
be my eclair.
That's how you get Mike. For anyone listening, just fish a piece of fried chicken on the end of a fishing line. And
You could put it under a box, have that box held up by a stick.
definitely.
I can see that. I know that's there.
Yep.
I'm still going to go for it. I'm still going to try to get the chicken and not fall in the box.
What size box are we talking?
Man, probably refrigerator size, so I can't push out of the top. And it's
Right.
a little too long, but a little too small for me to get out of.
Man-sized box.
Yep, a man-sized box, the size of William Perry,
Who is William Perry?
the refrigerator. He played for the Chicago Bears.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if I was in a box his size, couldn't get out.
The Bears are hockey. No, wait. What? Basketball.
Football. Yeah, football.
I do not know my sports. I'm so sorry.
It's a lot to ask anyone to know everything in every city when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
that's a lot of shapes and sizes and colors to remember. A lot of logos to remember.
But you remember them.
Yeah, but that's like part of my culture.
It's because you're a sports guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it has to be a part of your culture.
Yeah. It's definitely not an area that I'm comfortable with, but I'm always surprised when people like have just such deep knowledge of like stats and players and going back years and championships. And like, I know you and Chuck talk hockey all the time, right?
Yeah. Shout out Chuck.
And he's hockey and baseball.
Yeah. And also shout out Chuck because the Lightning lost game 6 and the Avalanche won. So, you know, but the Avalanche beat the Blues, which is my team, the St. Louis Blues.
Right.
And so I love when a team that beats my team wins the championship. That's who I want to win. You know what I mean? Because you took
absolutely.
down our Kings. So I want you to go all the way.
I feel like part of the reason that I never really got into sports is because all of the Canadian teams that I was around when I was living in Montreal moved to the United States, like the Colorado Avalanche or the Quebec Nordiques, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And the Expos
Yeah.
left too. And that was like the very nascent years as like someone who was like, oh, maybe I could be into sports, and I was going to baseball games and hockey games and like
Yeah.
having
Well, I
a
wonder
great
how that
time.
feels for a Canadian.
It feels bad.
Yeah. When it comes to
can tell you.
America, fucking, I bet
It
so.
feels really bad to have like 2 fucking teams, like, and the Montreal Expos were good. They were going to go to the fucking series, and then to have them not only like not in Canada anymore, but moved to the United States. There's a
Ooh,
lot
yeah.
of feelings around that. Like, I think
Absolutely.
Americans don't really think about how Canadians perceive them.
Well, we're too busy making fun of you for seemingly being better, I guess is the thing.
But there's like some pretty gritty feelings towards Americans that I think in Canada that I think Americans probably would be surprised by. Like, yes, we're nice, but we're
Right.
also mad at you guys sometimes.
Yeah, we paint you with a very broad brush.
Right.
I know we do because I am a part of that brush stroke for sure.
And and I feel like I remember when my friend Mark, we were on Fire Island on the beach, and he had been making a series of Canadian jokes, and then he said, well, Canada is just America's hat. And it made me so angry that I like left the beach for the day and like went and sulked in my room. And it's just an interesting experience sometimes.
It's a crazy insult. Be like, your whole country, we just wear your country. Fuck
Yeah,
off. I turn it around sometimes.
I had feelings about it.
Yeah. Fuck yes.
So anyway, just shout out to all my Canadian friends and how salty we feel sometimes about how America takes our sports teams.
It's a real ego check, and it's a good one.
I don't know. I mean, didn't the St. Louis fucking Rams or,
Oh, that was a mess with
that's a sore
moving
spot,
to Los
right?
Angeles. Like, yeah, for sure.
Painful for St. Louis.
My dad still talks about it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be on the phone chatting,
Mm-hmm.
and sports will come around.
Yep.
He'll still talk about it.
Of course. It wasn't that. When was that?
Long enough ago that for me, I'm like, oh, St. Louis is angry about that shit and will not let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel you.
Mark's saying, when do you think? 5 years ago?
5 years?
Oh, that's not long at all.
It is to me.
You need a couple generations for that shit to go away. Seriously, like weren't the Dodgers a team from Brooklyn? Yeah, we used to be the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
There's still bad blood about that, and that was
1,000
years ago.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
We should have asked our guest this week about that.
Oh, we should have asked him.
We
Mets
should
or
have hit him about
Yankees.
some sports shit. Yeah, who you fuck
Dang,
with.
come back, John. We need to know. Well, I don't even want to guess because that's dangerous territory.
Yeah, you got to ask.
You got to ask. You can't be like, you look like a Mets guy. Fuck you, man. If you guess wrong,
Yeah.
or even if you guess right, how dare you? That's
Mhm.
what I love about New York too. You'd get popped in the kisser.
Is
for
that right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Guess someone's sports affiliations for them. Get out of here.
Just ask me, motherfucker.
Just fucking ask me. I'll fucking tell you. Of course, I'll tell you.
Yeah. But ask.
Ask. You got to get consent for that shit.
Sports team consent.
Yeah, sports team affiliation consent.
Do you want to get to the news?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to the news. Shout out Quinn.
Yeah, this is a good news story this week. Shout out Quinn before the news, you mean?
As we go.
Okay. Oh, yes. Perfect.
Because of the news story this week.
This is a good news story.
Check out Quinn, 40% off. Oh no, by the time this drops, you missed that. Sorry about you.
25% off at the checkout with our coupon code Weed and Grub. 25% off at myquinn.com. They've got edibles. They've got super disposable vapes. They've got a whole line of products at myquinn.com. And it's an all cannabinoid brand. So that means they can ship to all 50 states. And they've got a bunch of different, they've got THCO, they've got Delta 8, they've got Delta 9, they've a bunch of stuff going on.
Their vapes are dope as fuck. And I mean, who else is making dragon fruit cookies these days? Come on. When's the last time you saw a cannabis brand that had dragon fruit on the cover?
I have never seen a coconut
Do you know that fruit?
Dragon fruit. Yeah, it's the beautiful purple one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And you cut the inside and it's just like a geode for fruit.
It's all speckly.
Oh, come on.
The most beautiful.
So if you like geodes, get some Quinn.
Dope.
Our news story this week
The
is
Grub Gazette.
Yeah, it's from Complex. Wanted to tie in today's guest and how I experienced Sweet Chick for the first time. And also shout out to Snoop Dogg, because this week's story is that Snoop Dogg gave his full-time blunt roller a raise due to inflation.
That is the perfect news story for these times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snoop doing right by someone who I imagine has been standing by him for a long time,
100%.
making sure that his blunts are perfect.
2019.
Whoa. He's been working for him for 3 years.
Yeah.
Rolling blunts every day. What do you think?
Creating
That's
jobs.
like a 60-hour work week for that guy?
Good question. How many blunts is it?
How many hours a day are you working rolling blunts for Snoop Dogg?
Mm-hmm.
If you're really good at it, not very many. And then you just hang out.
Yeah. But you've got to have like a clip at the ready, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got to have like, what if a whole crew shows up?
Oh,
Everyone's going to want a blunt.
That's it.
So
you're not just rolling blunts for Snoop personally, it's for the whole fucking team.
I imagine because this news story is about how he gave his blunt roller a raise due to inflation, that when Snoop Dogg has people over, he creates a hospitable environment for them.
Absolutely.
He's a giver.
The only person that I can relate that to is Hope Lord rolling for the Flatbush Zombies. I watched him just like keep juicing all the fucking guys just like filled up.
That's awesome. Hope, when you coming on the pod, homie?
A lot of work. So yeah, Hope, come on the pod.
So the news story is just, I wanted to do something evergreen.
Because we're in the weird Weed and Grub timeline where we don't know.
I might be in Scotland when this drops.
You might be in Scotland.
If not, I might be in Alaska when this drops.
God. Or you might be in Mammoth.
Or I might be in Mammoth.
Hit him with
drops.
The dates, Mike. We don't know.
Yeah, they're on my thing.
Perfect.
So what I wanted to say was a couple things in this Complex article that I did not know is that Seth Rogen co-signed the blunt roller story, because the first time anyone learned about Snoop having a full-time blunt roller was on Howard Stern, and then Seth Rogen corroborated that story when I learned that he was also a blunt roller for Waka Flocka Flame in 2014.
Seth Rogen was?
Seth Rogen was.
That's so wild.
It's cool.
I remember that job posting when Waka Flocka Flame was like, I'm hiring a blunt roller, because it was a big deal at the time. I don't think anyone in the had made a splash like that, saying that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen got the job? Is that true?
It's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
2014. What movies was he in around that time? Was that like Pineapple Express time?
It must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be right around there.
Oh, yeah. What was the movie that he made about The Interview?
The Interview. Oh, with Franco. There's a crocodile or some kind of animal outside that chases them.
Oh, I just remember the Kim Jong-un stuff.
Who?
The Korean dictator that they got in trouble. That was the whole thing about the movie.
I don't remember that.
Are you trying to avoid that shit?
Yeah,
Mike,
maybe
stop your doing your docking and weaving. Anyway, this is a great story.
I don't want to talk about Kim Jong-un right now.
Why not?
Because
let's talk about Kim Jong-un.
Okay.
Right now.
Great.
What do you know about him?
I know nothing about him except he seems like a bad dude who loves basketball.
Right. The sports again. What team do you think he roots for? Oh, I'm not going to guess.
He loves Dennis Rodman. We know that.
Come for you. So,
yeah.
Okay.
I bet he's a massive Jordan Bulls fan, because Jordan is the ultimate.
Right.
Like, everyone will say that LeBron, there will always be GOATs in the conversation, but Jordan is the one who did it. And so he will always be the GOAT because he was first.
Steph Curry, what are you, a yay or nay person?
Oh, so much yay.
You have to be.
Top to bottom.
I even know about
Top
how
five
amazing Steph Curry is, and I know nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. And he just like finished he got all 5 rings, right? MVP.
Yeah, he's done all the things.
He checked all the boxes.
The EGOT of the
EGOT
NBA.
Yeah, nice.
100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got there.
Because oh man, I don't know. Would you want to get high and watch highlights of him sometime and just see how magic he is, how flawless
how many
he is?
beanbags do you have at your house?
Enough for everyone to come over and watch highlights with me. I need a projector.
Yep.
And a bunch of beanbags, and I'll just have Steph Curry highlight night.
That sounds fun, and I don't even like sports.
So that's the news.
Nice. Well, congratulations to Snoop's blunt roller.
Yeah, thank you for supporting how inflation has gone up, and so you took care of your people during expensive times.
How inflation has gone up.
Inflation has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what you say?
It's just, I think that's the word inflation means it went up.
So inflation has inflated?
I guess. I looked up because I don't have a concept of what inflation really is. I was like, what is this? Let me figure this out. And it's just when supply or demand outpaces supply.
Yes.
I did not know this really until this round, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, because I think, economics are very fucking complicated, and I've just never actually tried to focus on them or understand them. But now that they're really affecting my life, I was like, let me look into this.
Yeah.
And see what's going on.
Quote unquote scarcity.
Scarcity. Yep. It's a global issue right now. It's not just the United States. It's around the world.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I have a hard time believing it.
Well, let's move on to something that's more fun than inflation.
Okay. I just do. I just don't think that it's like...
You just don't believe
I think the government is trying to keep everybody fucking down.
Right.
Top to bottom. In every way at once. They are moving full strike right now, and it is so fucking crazy to see full strikes happening. Like, they are just like... You want to talk about the EGOT of like evil people? It's like everything that's going on right now.
With the federal government or the courts or both, or what? Where are you seeing
yes.
all of it?
Because I don't understand how any of that works. I don't understand how law works. I don't understand how presidents work. But what I see not working is everything.
The system.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
I feel you on that.
I don't need to know much to know it's broken.
I mean, by the time this comes out, the SCOTUS will have issued a few more rulings that will probably be incredibly more damaging, including one on the EPA that will affect like how a federal agency can oversee the environment. Don't know how it's going to go. Shit's getting really fucking scary fast.
You're deeper in the environment than me. Will you keep tabs on it and keep talking about that on here as things unfold?
For sure.
That would be cool to learn.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to keep talking about it because it's just what's happening. And, we use weed and food to have a great time. And then so we can talk about all that stuff too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But thank you, Snoop.
Oh, I thought we wrapped the news story.
I know, but like I'm just like happy that people lead by example sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I listened to an episode of a great podcast called You're Wrong About recently, and they just do deep dives on like stories that the mainstream media reported and kind of got wrong. And I highly recommend. Shout out You're Wrong About with Sarah Marshall. And they just recently did one about Martha Stewart, and they were talking about Martha's friendship with Snoop and how it was like not that fucking unlikely at all because they're just such titans of business and strategy, and like they just vibed because their brains are the same, basically.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that's so interesting to think of that because it's like Snoop just seems so, his persona is not. It's just a tiny bit of like who he is and how he operates, I think.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also don't think he wants anything.
Right. He's just building it for himself.
Well, that night he's like, I don't need to do anything. I don't want to have want. I want to do what I want to do.
Right. Cool.
I think that's how he goes through life, someone like him.
I mean, let's get him on the podcast.
I think so. Like the few times we've met, he just didn't want anything from anyone.
Oh, fuck. I always forget that you like hung out with him.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that day?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we were doing that BuzzFeed video and they blindfolded us and drove us in a car. Didn't tell us where we were going.
Wild.
I would not probably be high blindfolded again. I might not do that again.
Wow.
That was a weird experience to be in the back of a car blindfolded, stoned out of my mind.
I would
by my own doing.
Panic attack.
You want to talk about an anglerfish?
You took your own drumstick.
I took my own drumstick on that one.
Great. Wow. So you're, I'm having anxiety just hearing you talk about it. I just felt like a pang in my chest where I was like, oh, no, I can't.
Right.
That's awful.
Yeah, blindfolded in the back of a car. Thanks, BuzzFeed. But I will say, like, they surprised us. We walk into this room. We walk into another room, and we walk into another room.
Surprised you, but you didn't know where you were going.
No.
You didn't know this was going to happen.
No.
Okay.
It's all based on, like, real reaction.
Okay,
the
so
best part
they
of a
got you
reality
high,
show.
and then they kidnapped you, effectively.
I got myself very high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I'm going to smoke the shit I want to smoke.
Okay.
If I'm going to go be a part of something, then I'm going to do my shit.
But sorry to step this out, but when you were getting so high, did you know you were going to be blindfolded?
No.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah. They were like, put these on. And, like, when the camera's on you and they're like, put these on. And then they just get you looking at the blindfold and then looking at the camera,
mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden we walk through this third room in this loud, big, airy space. We can't see what it is. And the smell of all this weed just hits us full on. And I remember Brandon goes like, I think we're going to grow. I think we're going to grow today. And they sit us down. We take off our blindfolds. And there's fucking Snoop Dogg
oh my God.
smoking a blunt with a bag of blunts, pounds of flour on this long couch surrounded by plumes of smoke. And he's just like, what's up, guys?
I mean,
it was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a video that we can watch on the internet.
Yeah. I don't even know if the video will do it justice, though, to be in that man's presence and fucking smoke with him all day.
Yeah.
And then to have his... Here's the fucking Snoop story. All right. This is the Snoop story.
Okay.
Because it's not even about the video. Like, the video was a brilliant dream come true. But the real Snoop story is about who he was during that video. Thanks for getting me here, Mary Jane. So, because like the thing is after we shoot and we get all the reactions, and it was to promote some show on MTV that he was a part of, I think as the EP. And so we do all of it. We kick it with him. We all get to take pictures, high five with the dude. He takes time with us, which was really kind. And then I just was like, well, if we're in Snoop's compound, I'm just going to explore this place because it's going to take BuzzFeed a while to pack up their shit. It's going to take everyone a while to like get their pictures, do their thank you. So I'm just going to dip and explore Snoop's compound.
With permission? Like
No. And so I start exploring.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to ask about that. Hey, can I walk around? You just got to walk.
Oh, sorry.
And so I'm walking around. There's all this crazy cool art all over his walls. A lot of it is from Snoop, of Snoop. And so
like a king.
Like a fucking king.
Like a fucking king.
And so I walk back in and Snoop's just smoking a blunt, kind of alone for a second. And I go, yo, the art on your walls is amazing. And he goes, oh, you like that shit? That's all things that my fans have sent me.
Oh my God.
They've sent me self-portraits. And so I have them all over my place. And I'm just like, whoa. And he goes, you want to see some more shit? And I go, yeah.
Uh-huh.
He calls over his head of security and says, show this little homie around the rest of the place. And so I saw like his son's music studio. I saw his basketball court with tons of jerseys all around the outside of the court. Fucking just an amazing collection of music, shoes, art, and entertainment. In his studio, he has one of those like Star Trek captain chairs, you know, and then the studio equipment is surrounding it almost like the Starfleet Enterprise. It has like bongs on top of it and shit like that.
What?
It was amazing. And his security guard was so fucking kind and let me like, I never pulled out my phone, didn't do any of that bullshit,
Respect.
you know, just keeping it clean. And he just showed me everything, chopped it up with me. And then BuzzFeed goes, where have you been? Oh, we were so scared. And I was like, I saw this whole place. Fuck y'all.
I'll take an Uber.
Yeah.
Bye. Did you see the kitchen?
Oh, no, I didn't see the kitchen.
No, I mean,
We'll
you
be
saw
back.
everything.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
Oh, wow. What a day.
Yeah, that was cool as shit.
And you met him since then. We saw him at that basketball game, I know. And you went up to him and said hey to him on the court.
Yeah, we danced at half court.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was wild.
Dude just goes through life.
Yeah.
You'll run into Snoop.
Amazing.
You want to get to Buds of the Week?
Yes.
All right. Well, do you want to go first or second?
I can't remember. Oh, yeah. No, I'll go first.
Okay.
In honor of this being like a real New York episode, I wanted to shout out Gretchen Robinette, the incredible photographer. You can follow her on Instagram at Gretchen Robinette, which is ETTE. And she is the photographer who did like so many iconic photo shoots when we were with High Times. When I was working at High Times, Gretchen and I would travel to we went to Atlantic City to shoot Margaret Cho, where she got Margaret Cho lying in bed covered in weed. And we shot Aquafina together. I mean, I'm saying we shot together. I had nothing to do with shooting. I was just there watching Gretchen do this fucking magic. Laura Jane Grace, Peaches.
You're writing these interviews?
I was either an editor or writer for interviews that we did with so many people. And Gretchen, just like her images are fucking iconic. And she captures New York life. And I don't know, she's just a great follower and a really cool fucking person. She was always willing to I remember the shoot with Laura Jane Grace. She found an abandoned Brooklyn, dilapidated brownstone that was so rickety to get into. You were going to get tetanus. Yeah. Basically. You were definitely going to get tetanus. And Laura Jane Grace showed up, was fucking amazing. And it just felt so sketchy and weird and perfect and New Yorky and dangerous and illegal.
I picture that piece of plastic blowing in the window.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rats scurrying by. Pizza Rat showed up for a minute. No, it was great. Anyway, follow Gretchen. She's amazing.
My butt of the week this week is Connor Lohman at Nuglord on Instagram, N-U-G-G Lord. Connor booked me on a couple stand-up shows. He's in the weed game and producing some dope stand-up through it. So shout out to Carmen, guest on the show, for connecting us and recommending me, and then shout out to Connor for taking the chance and then saying I did a great job. That means a lot. Also, your shows were well attended, well produced, so fun, and thank you for the hookup with those delicious edibles. So Connor, goddamn dude, appreciate you.
Wow, great buds of the week.
Yeah, really good buds.
And the ultimate VIB this week, our very important bud, John Seymour.
How do you want to intro him?
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's so many things to say. Why don't you take it?
Okay. I wish we had talked about Keith Haring.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that we didn't get to, that when he comes back, if he wants to come back, I would love to geek out on some art with him.
We'll definitely have John back.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Founder of Sweet Chick, fucking man about fucking town with weed and food, doing
he has vision. I'll say that too.
Mad vision. Yeah. And the best hang and the most generous, this spread that he brought with all the Sweet Chick goodies, and it was just amazing. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Without further ado, here's our interview with
John Seymour.
I am high. Well, as we begin, it is rad to meet a dude whose food I've loved since I moved to West Hollywood.
Excellent, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
I'm just gonna start with a short story that I hope is okay to share.
Yeah.
I saved up enough money, and I was like, I'm gonna treat myself to just extravagance for a day. And so I went and I got a VIP ticket to Complex Con. And I had like my whole day set up. I was like, I'm going to see all these speakers. I'm going to meet some heroes. I'm going to see if I can cop some shoes that I'm in love with. Shout out Joe Freshgoods. You still haven't come through, but what are we talking about?
He's killing it. Wow.
Yeah. And then I went to the food places real high, smoked a joint, walking from indoor to outdoor. And the line for Sweet Chick was down the grass, around the bench, and hit the fucking lake. And it was like noon, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We do really well at Complex Con too, especially like we've done it. This is the past year, say?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there a couple of years now. Like we always like had little partnerships. We did a Clark's collaboration this past year.
Move that baby right in front of you.
This guy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But you can even move instead of
pull it down.
go to town.
Oh yeah, you guys know what's up. You guys know what's up. Yeah, and unfortunately, I actually wasn't at Complex Con this year. I had to leave for a wedding like the day before, so I was there leading up into all that stuff and only saw the footage. But yeah, it was insane. I mean, you know, I don't know. We just get a lot of love, especially in that like circle, in that group. We have a lot of friends that like were also like showing their stuff there and had booths. So
yeah, but like you've crossed generations now at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be 10 years next year. I think it's gonna be 10 years for us. So it's kind of like interesting. That's a decade, and like you said, it's like cross generations and like still adopting new people and people, you know, from all around. So it's dope, man. It's been crazy. So I love to see it. Like
we have to talk about your huge evolution that happened just recently with this like founders table.
We gotta
get into so many things.
Yeah. So right now is a very exciting time for us. I mean, we all know like the past couple of years was crazy for like, you know, the restaurant industry, for like all types of industries. I mean, with COVID and whatnot, and shut down a lot, especially in New York and LA, which is where we're located. It was like not easy to handle business and run a business. But like you said, like the you know, that following that you saw at Complex Con, you know, is a similar following that kind of came out during the pandemic. You know, we had to shut it down, and when we reopened, literally through like a piece of plywood in the window, and the line started to form, similar to like what you saw at Complex Con. And
this is at the spot in
Williamsburg. In Williamsburg, that was the first spot we reopened because we had shut everything down for about 2 months.
Terrifying.
Yeah,
it was crazy, man. I mean, the restaurant industry, you know, got a lot of press, you know, in the news cycles and whatnot during that time because it makes up, you know, a huge percentage of the population that actually works, and a huge piece of, you know, percentage of the total economy in general. And it was like the first time that I think some light was shined on that. And it was a struggle. So a lot of people closed and a lot of people never came back. A lot of companies went under, a lot of companies were sold and bought, and you know, a lot of people in the industry lost their jobs. You know, I had to lay a lot of people off in that time, and made sure that everybody that was on my staff was taken care of. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple of people that, from what I understand, there might not have been the right documentation, and they weren't receiving their benefits like they should have. So that was really what motivated me to reopen the Brooklyn store, because I was like, I have enough people to put on that weren't getting a stimulus check, that I can get to pay. And I'll open the store even if it's at a loss for the moment, because we just got to get this thing kickstarted again and going.
So what does that look like? Just like a pared down menu? Like maybe like a thigh and a breast.
Kind of what you saw at
waffle?
Complex Con was really our sandwich, and yeah, like a pared down kind of version. And there you go.
Thanks.
And that's nice.
Yeah.
And so basically what we did was like scale it to come back, because I didn't have enough staff to work it, and then the only people that had a couple people that wanted to work, right? So I needed to work, so I made sure we got them back to work. You know, my cousin who's with me, you know, we're all hanging out, probably bringing a joint and a few.
Great.
You know, I got a couple other friends to kind of reopen the store as well, because then, you know, everybody else was getting their stimulus checks and then didn't want to come back to work. And it was also kind of a crazy time. You know, people were scared. People's families were sick. People were dying. You know,
I mean, New
people
York
didn't know
was
what
the
was going on.
epicenter,
Yeah,
right?
New York was a really kind of crazy place.
Like
and
refrigerator trucks.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like I don't even want to talk about it too much.
Whoa.
Because
we
Sweet
got
Chick
an
is here.
incoming delivery live on podcast. We've never had this happen before.
Marvin coming in.
There's Sweet Chick being brought to us.
This is wild.
Angels. What?
How's it going?
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Hold on, I'm gonna clear some space. Mary Jane, fill the gap.
Yeah, hang on. Oh, you're just leaving me to vamp. Or we could just pause.
No, we can't pause.
Okay, we're not holding for this. This is very exciting. Okay, I'm just going to narrate what's happening for everyone who can't see because you're actually listening and not watching on YouTube.
Okay.
We've got
If you pop all that up, I'll do this all out.
well, I can't even see what we have. Oh my God. There's a raft of Sweet Chick sandwiches,
Yes.
fried chicken, waffles,
Biscuits.
holy biscuits,
The biscuits, I can't wait. Holy cow, blueberry waffles.
blueberry waffles.
I think that's the blueberry waffles.
Okay, I'll do this. You keep being interviewed.
You
can't be the server.
We could.
I got you.
I know. I'm just so overwhelmed by the bounty that I don't even know what to say. Yeah. Hell yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anyway.
We can
Yes, let's interview.
Okay.
We
Thanks,
got time
Mike.
too. We got time to eat,
Dope.
whatever. Cool. So
New York, epicenter of the pandemic. Everything's crazy, and you're reopening with like a skeleton staff and a pared down menu.
Yep, exactly. And it was crazy. You know, it really was crazy. You kind of bring me back there, and it was a wild time. And that was the time where it was like kind of survival mode in a bit, and really trying to figure it out. So, from a business, standpoint, it was like, let's try to keep the overhead as low as possible.
Yep.
Plus, we also kind of couldn't hire. There was nobody really to work at the time. It was crazy to figure it out. But long story short, to kind of cut to it, got that store open. Sales started coming back. We started kind of blowing away the expectation that I had, because previous to the pandemic, we really were not doing delivery because it wasn't something that we really focused on as a company, because we were really bringing people in, and we were a very experiential restaurant.
Right, like full service.
Yeah, full service.
The playlist. Every review I read on the website
music
talks
man.
about the music that comes through those walls.
It's a celebrity hangout because it was such a cool time, right?
and really that's just like kind of where the brand's DNA also comes from. Chicken and Waffles is from Harlem. It was invented in Harlem in the jazz clubs, in the 1920s around music, and there's a whole story. I can get into that as well. But
please cut a little bit in there.
Yeah, I mean, the chef at the end of the night, the story was it's M. Wells in Harlem. The chef at the end of the night was like, or a jazz musician came back and was like, I'm hungry. He was like, I got some fried chicken left over, and I can make waffles. So it was like 4:00 in the morning. You want breakfast or you want dinner? So the guy he was like, I got fried chicken. I can make some waffles. Fried chicken and waffles. Fuck. So kind of my understanding of that, and then thinking of like how the music influenced it as well, and just also influenced me and all of us, like from all types of different genres, but really just kind of like our staff kind of became very musical, and really that informed the playlists, and then that still does to this day, really.
I've never been to a New York spot, but the one here in LA, what I noticed, I mean, we talk about it all the time because we both live on Fairfax. And it's so crazy.
An incoming weed delivery.
Oh, we got
now.
incoming weed delivery.
This is the ultimate weed and grub episode.
Folks, this is going to be our last episode ever because it's not going to get better than this.
Yeah, we could check everything off our bucket list. Thank you.
As he hands it off, the biggest plume of smoke comes out of his mouth too. Just rolling hog legs.
I know listen, this is weed and grub.
This
is weed
hop
and
on
grub.
The mic.
So I'm glad he brought this in. And in New York, this is more of a New York thing, but we have a little bit of a grabba inside of this, or a little bit of a fronto inside of this. I don't know if you guys really smoke that. It's a little bit of tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you call it? What's
grabba? It's like, a leaf.
Yeah.
It's a leaf, and then it's like dried up.
I've never tried it. I can't wait.
Yeah, so I know he has it, and it just kind of hits a little bit different.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I know that's kind of nice.
Pick me up. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So yeah. The pandemic. Where were we at? We're
talking about like how awesome the playlist is.
Oh yeah, I mean the music, man. I mean, and that really kind of translated when we opened the first store. that was on Bedford Avenue in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Like I said, about 9 years ago now.
Amazing.
We built the restaurant around chicken and waffles, but we really did offer a lot. We offered like braised octopus on the menu, had aged ribeye at one point, and then we had seasonals. We had really amazing chefs working for us, and we really built this great.
Yeah, there was a
following there.
venison seasonal that was in.
Yeah. I mean, we
good
really
food.
like, and as we developed and opened other locations, we allowed those chefs to really kind of get creative as well. Which is challenging to scale.
Mm-hmm.
And as we reopened the business, we realized, ultimately what we were doing was selling like 90% of our food was our chicken and waffles, which is what we were known for. And, we really just focused on that and said, let's just execute that and play our hits, which is like shrimp and grits and the other accompaniments that we would have, and biscuit sandwiches, our brunch program, pancakes, things like that people always loved about us, and let's focus on that. But that really happened organically throughout the pandemic, as we reopened the stores and just really saw what worked.
I think that's cool too, because the one here in LA on Fairfax, you'll have like seasonal waffles, which is like an exciting thing to check out.
Yeah.
And so like the idea of still keeping things creative and alive.
Yeah, like right now I think one of these is it was like National Donut Day, so we did a cinnamon donut inside the waffle.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so like stuff like
do
that.
Smoke weed.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't even my creation, it's like that was definitely Chef. Shout out to Chef Lauren.
I want to get into like your story, your backstory, how like just growing up in New York and everything. Like
yeah, man.
City did you grow up?
On 80th and First Ave.
Upper East Side.
Upper East Side, yeah.
Okay.
A place we kind of call if you live there, you call it Yorkville, which is like a very like Irish and kind of German area. But yeah. Shout out to Yorkville.
And man, I used to manage brunches at the NoHo Star.
Oh yeah, right there.
Do you remember the NoHo Star?
Yeah. Right
that
there.
was like my
probably busy brunches right there. I'm sure.
Just having to get
sure.
up
Yeah, I mean, I
early.
bartended in nightclubs, so like I was a bartender, also like a local neighborhood spot in my old neighborhood, like an Irish bar. Yeah, I did a lot of other things, So, I figured out how to make a little bit of money, and I opened a little burger spot. It was like my first kind of business venture.
Where was that?
That was in Brooklyn and Williamsburg. It was called Pops. So it was a little burger spot. I learned a little bit there.
How thick was the burger? Smashed thin?
They were thin. They were thin burgers.
Oh,
They
nice.
were fire, bro. I'm telling you. If you lived in
good.
Brooklyn, if you lived in Williamsburg and Brooklyn around that time, Pops. And people come up to me all the time. They're like, yo.
When was this?
Man, this is like, damn, I'm so bad with time.
Like early
I'd say.
2000s?
Yeah,
like
it must have been,
2005 kind of?
Yeah, it
Like
must
when
have been like
Williamsburg
it must have been
was
like it must have been like it must have been like early 2000s.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah, I was out there.
And so
running
Pops
around,
was
running
like,
around.
wait, but like, why would you go into the restaurant business, dude? Why would you get into food? Because everyone I
listen.
talk to is like, it's a crazy game.
It's so hard to do.
Yeah. You're fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. No.
Like,
it is.
straight
It
up.
is. Listen, somebody told me. So I've told other people about the restaurant business. That's like, listen, I figured out how to make some money, right? And what do you do when you make a little bit of money? How do you make more money? What do you got to do, right? I started asking questions. Literally, this is what I did. I didn't know what to do. I'd worked in the service industry, this, that, the other. I thought for a second I was going to buy taxi cab medallions.
Oh, wow.
Because they were worth a couple $100,000 at one point.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't do that because Uber came along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
You gotta start to ask these questions. I mean, this is literally my process, man. At that point, you got to ask some people, and I didn't know a lot of people that were that successful, to be honest with you, in legitimate business anyway. Like,
Yep.
I know a lot of people that put a lot of cash into things and failed at some stuff and never really made any bread, to be honest with you. But,
yeah.
So was there the connection that you made that, like the person that you asked the right question of? Do you remember the day when you sort of like had a light bulb moment go off?
On the restaurant side, I remember somebody said,
Thanks.
they just told me not to do it. And to be honest with you,
Whoa.
I've told this to people. They told me not to do it. And at the time, I was kind of like, damn, fuck them. Because this was somebody, I was a little bit like, fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife, who I met, went to pastry school.
Oh.
So she was a very enthusiastic. She's very enthusiastic culinarily. She's like a chef. You know what I'm saying?
Nose
so,
dough.
I mean, she cooks. Bro.
Yeah.
so basically, she kind of probably put the battery. And I'm a hospitality guy, and my father used to make burgers. My father was a bartender, so that's so I was kind of like, my father used to make burgers for the guys in the neighborhood, type of thing. So I was kind of like, all right, what would make sense in Brooklyn? I started thinking about the restaurant business. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. You're taking me back, guys.
Yeah. It's cool.
And it is cool. And I was like, all right, cool. I saw a spot, and I said that was not really functioning that well. And I was like, all right, cool. I could probably take this and make this work better. And if I could do that, I could probably duplicate it. And that's kind of what I thought. And I said, just make a fire burger for the people in the neighborhood. And that's kind of what we did. And did it from scratch, really.
Pops.
You know what I'm saying? I put in the concrete floors. It was cool.
That's really cool, especially because you had like.
And wifey helped me along with that, for sure. Shout out to my wife, Fallon. I love you. You're the best.
That's awesome.
Wow. And at this point, where does weed fit in for you?
I'm not smoking.
Okay. Wow.
I'm not smoking at that time.
You were taking a break because
I was taking a break. I had stopped drinking.
Okay.
So in my up into my 20s, alcohol for me was not like my friend in a sense, really.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning too much or none?
I'm meaning too much. Like, it put me in some bad places. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't right for me, man. Got me in trouble. Put it like that.
Yeah.
So
choices are hard, man.
You know, I was around a lot of people that, maybe weren't the best influences. I was also like, so my parents are Irish, if that's worth anything.
I have an Irish passport because of my
father,
dad.
My father was a bartender.
Yeah.
He was an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic. He used to send everybody in the neighborhood to AA. Wow. But he had stopped drinking right before I was born, and he had us when he was like older.
Dude, no wonder you're in hospitality. You got a whole community around you.
My father,
people who are like giving
my father
out.
knew everybody in the neighborhood. Like, man. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like that's like why I say that word where I'm from is called Yorkville. So these guys would be like, he's putting it on the map, like type shit, because it's a little bit different.
Word.
Cool. It's like kind of like a very Irish American kind of community. A lot of like more like working class and like he just knew all the guys. You know what I'm saying? From like generational even over there. So like he was kind of a very, very beloved figure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
would you say this is like when? If you watch Law and Order, you've never been to New York, but you watch Law and Order, and they go to a cop bar. It's that kind of like.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's a cop bar because there was dirty cops there.
Yeah, the ones with
and
the
there was retired cops there, and there was active cops and detectives there too, occasionally. And there was that guy who's like the garbage man, who's the head of the garbage department. Yeah. It was like kind of like a Cheers. A friend of mine had said to me, he's like, you got to make a show because it was kind of like a Cheers.
That's what I just thought was like,
but
this.
like a different type of Cheers, you know what I'm saying? Like not like a Cheers, but like a Cheers with a wink, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
We have food right here. Sorry, I do need to take a bite.
Yeah, well,
I feel like this is the bite midpoint.
Bite time.
I'm just scared I'm going to start eating and then I'm not going to want to talk anymore.
Yeah, it might be quiet the rest of the time.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the Nashville, and it's probably somewhere underneath one of those
Nashville
boxes.
Hot?
Yeah, but I'll probably just wait till after. But you go
Why
for
don't
it. Go
you
dig
eat and
into
I'll
something.
talk, and then you talk and I'll eat, or something like that. But we can't both eat at the same time.
Yeah, unless you want to talk to yourself.
Yo, do all these interviews? Does everybody smoke the entire time?
No.
Keep going.
Right, this is awesome.
Good.
Yeah, this is like the best Hot Ones episode we've ever
it.
had. You know what I mean?
We're doing it. This is fantastic.
So where are we at?
So,
what are we talking about?
Well, yeah, exactly. There's so many places to go. Okay, I'm gonna take a second.
Let's get back to current news.
Yeah.
In current news,
well, because I wanted to ask about the New York consumption license.
Yes, man.
Is that going to be a part of your empire?
I'm looking at it. Like I have a lawyer who I have a bunch of liquor licenses.
Okay.
Right, I've held a lot of liquor licenses over the years. I've held legitimate establishments now for over a lot of years. That looks delicious.
Oh,
that looks delicious.
Jump in, Mike.
The fuck?
Get it, Mike.
What is this? Woo. Yeah, it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. You got secret pickles in here?
Yes, those are some secret pickles, man.
Perfect.
So you got a lawyer looking into.
Yeah, so no, it's he's we talk occasionally, and then I have other friends that are in the business. I'm a board member on a company that's actually currently looking at a license in New York that's in cannabis in LA.
Oh yeah,
Foxy, a company called Palindrome that we started, and manages Foxy and manages another brand at the moment, and it's very interesting. We got a great CEO running that, so like I'm learning a lot about that, and then I have a lot of friends in the black market. You know what I'm saying? Like that have been historically in the black market, and cannabis is so interesting to me. And now as a smoker, and forever, I've always been interested, and I've always really been aware of all the strains throughout the history of cannabis.
Yeah.
So like,
that's cool.
I'm not just like
you're like a weed nerd on some level, right?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've just been submerged in it.
Yeah.
For so long that I know it.
You know it.
By way of like similar to like, hip hop and stuff like that. To me, it's like when it's kind of been around you and then you're around it, it's like, you're just kind of like a part of it. You're kind of currently always aware of what's going on. And
were you a Sour Diesel?
Not necessarily a fan, but what's that?
Were you a Sour Diesel lover?
I mean, I remember when Sour Diesel was getting sold in New York for $7,200 a pound.
Yeah, right.
$7,300 a pound.
Whoa.
So like I just know lots of different
whoa.
Areas of cannabis. Like I'm kind of I wouldn't say a cannabis nerd, but somebody who's very cannabis aware,
right?
Of like the industry as well as a whole. So when I'm learning about, the licensing side, and it's very interesting. But it's also like it's crazy because right now in New York, you can go to any store and you can get weed and cannabis.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Weed and Grub.
I gotta just say that I don't think anyone would attach the word.
It's not legal yet, but
I wanted to like just correct the nerd part because I think what I meant through that was just like mad amounts of knowledge about.
You know what I would call myself? I would say that I'm at least a New York cannabis historian.
No, that's awesome.
Pretty cool.
I would classify myself as that. Take that.
Like,
I could use a Nashville too.
This is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
I got the hot one, Nashville hot.
Yeah.
Perfect amount of hot,
exactly.
not too hot,
Excellent.
Real sweet. Secret pickles. Your bun is crazy.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah,
it's like soft.
Yeah.
Potato.
I mean, look, we're trying
it's
to
so fire.
Like since especially not that we always weren't, but it's like what we've been trying to do now is really, really work on the product, man, and like make our food. It's like now like we talked about focus and like
that
doing
toast
business.
on the bun. What's up? You toast your buns.
You gotta toast the bun,
about?
bro. Come on, man.
Is scaling up from? I mean, you've just grown and grown, and now you're really going to massively grow with this new development with Founders Table. Is that hard scaling like that? It must be
yes.
Super hard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, anything is hard. Everything is hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more or less, it's like anything to do anything well should be hard.
Yeah.
Even if you're a master. I mean, LeBron James is not practicing.
Right.
Hard.
I'm gonna try a sandwich.
But
Nazir Jones, when he's got a show, he's not practicing.
Yeah, he might rehearse a little bit.
Yeah.
There's only a full arena there to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you sit across from Nas, was that the first time you two met a business thing, or did you kick it before things became business?
No, meeting Nas was crazy. When I met Nas, we had two restaurants. I had two restaurants open, two Sweet Chicks, one in Williamsburg and one in the Lower East Side. I got introduced to Nas through Peter Bittenbender from Mass Appeal, who was the CEO of Mass Appeal, if you guys are familiar.
I'm not. Is it clothing?
No, they're like they're like a multimedia company. Like they do all types of like different stuff, produce all types of shows and shit, move films and shit like that as well. Music, they just do a lot of stuff.
They make shit.
In that. Yeah, they make a lot of stuff. And I had met him actually backstage at South by Southwest, so it was kind of like a kind of a fairly brief interaction, but it was cool. And then subsequently met him up at Sweet Chick in Brooklyn. And that was mad cool.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Y'all
so it was crazy. Yeah. Nas is a legend, man, right? So it's like, it was really cool. And as a New York guy trying to get an investment, trying to close, for me, that was like the first little funding I did. So it was cool.
Whoa.
Cool. And you know, a cosign from Nas in a sense. He, you know, he was just like, yo, he really liked what we were doing with the restaurant. So it was just like super dope.
He's timeless, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's timeless. Yeah. I mean, he just won a Grammy.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa.
Yeah. But
it's wild.
To pull the trigger on something like that, well, I guess at that point he is Nas. Like Illmatic, like he's a business.
Mm-hmm.
He is a business. So when he
got to spark one up for Nas, man.
There it is. Hell yeah.
For Nas.
That's awesome. And so you said just come through Sweet Chick. And he was like, I will try this place. And then it was like, this is so good. What are we doing?
I think he had heard of it through like a friend or something like that, maybe. So he'd heard of this.
When are we talking? This is right at the beginning.
This was like I had Sweet Chick was open in Brooklyn and Williamsburg, the original one, and Lower East Side was already open. So we had 2 restaurants called Sweet Chick.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We're opening a new one soon in September in Union Square. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's dope.
That's gonna be wild because the last time I walked through Union Square, there was just like an open air farmers market for everybody selling weed.
Oh man,
New York has changed so much.
Weed, yeah, New York is with weed. I mean, I don't even know what it's gonna look like, but it already looks like it's there. So
yeah, I would love to actually hear you take a guess at what you think it could look like, though. If like things go, like the laws seem like they're trying to get it right this time. Like they're looking at other states that have implemented, you know, full use, and they're learning from our mistakes, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think New York could look like?
They didn't do it quick enough for one.
Okay. They didn't legalize it quickly enough.
They should have figured it out quicker.
Oh yeah.
They were late to the game.
Yeah, it was crazy. 2 years ago, right?
Because what are they going to do with all the guys that have the shops right now?
Yeah.
That are storefronts.
Yeah.
That are selling in 2 years.
They're going to shut them down, right? Or they're going to try, and they'll.
I mean,
like they've tried to do it in LA.
I think they're starting to try now, but you know, I don't know.
Because they're in DC too, right? It's all. I mean, it's all
way
up the coast.
Yeah, it's also DC. Crazy.
And DC dudes are in New York, and New York dudes are in DC. And everybody's everywhere.
Man, it's so wild. I think we should be in charge.
Yeah.
I think we would actually do a pretty damn good job. Like a circle, like a cabinet, a different type of cabinet. You know?
Nah, I mean, you know, what it's gonna look like in New York. I mean, they you know, they're gonna give out licenses, and all the major top guys that are here are probably gonna be there.
Yeah. You'll be there.
I mean, you already know 100% Burner's gonna be there. Cookies.
The only weed brand that anyone actually knows, like
he did it
across the board,
bro.
Yeah, it's the
shout out to Burner.
Yeah,
we're probably smoking some. This is probably some of his weed right here.
That's awesome because it's great weed.
We've had the conversation about how, you know, there is really everyone knows genetics, everyone knows strains, but no one knows a brand. That's the one. Cookies.
Yeah. No. He just did really well in what he did, because I think he's authentic to what it is, you know, to that world, and I think he's just doing really well from a consumer standpoint too. You know, he's really good. But there's a lot of good guys good people out there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good people out there in great companies, man. It's really cool. So, but you know, a lot of those stores are going to come and open, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting for the guys that are there, but I also don't know how you really compete with the bodegas. You know, now a legitimate store, it's just like alcohol. I mean, I guess it's like prohibition, really. You know, I own liquor licenses.
Yeah.
If you pop open an ice cream store next door and start selling liquor, like they are shutting you down.
Yeah.
You're done. Or a restaurant, you're like, as you start, no, they're shutting you down. If depending on the neighborhood with my liquor license, if I have a DJ too late, they're shutting me down. Or they're taking away my liquor license.
Damn.
You know, so they figured it out with liquor, so they'll figure it out with cannabis too. But I don't know. It's
the New York liquor.
The thing is, to me, also, like, honestly, I was always against legalization, to be honest with you, from a long time, for the one simple reason of it gave so many people a way to earn a little extra income.
Yeah.
So that was my kind of 2 cents. But hey,
in the words of DJ Khaled, keep going.
But decriminalize, because you can't, you know, shouldn't be locking people up for this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a medicine, dude.
It's so wild to think of legalization the way that it's actually taking extra money away from people. like making it legal is gonna take some families extra cash for
the bar to entry is the barrier is so high.
But it also takes a family's father or mother or sister or brother who gets locked up because they get arrested for selling it.
Yep.
Which is we're over that now. I believe
over that.
As a country.
Yeah.
Brock Turner was found innocent. What are we doing?
Look at the liquor industry, man. We're selling water now. You guys, hopefully, you're just sponsor. We're
working on that actually.
Like beer
We're working on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like there's a huge industry.
Oh wait, hop on the mic.
Oh, sorry. There's a huge industry, so the federal government already knows it. But it's just a matter of like, come on, capitalize on it now. Let's just make it work and make a whole industry of people and put people to work in a whole job. Come on, solve a lot of problems quick.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah. For a long time,
too easy.
I thought legalization was the way, and I totally see now it's decriminalization without regulation is the way for
what are we talking
more people
about
to
here,
enter
man?
the industry.
Yeah.
So it's hard because
but
it's so
or just
tricky.
fully decriminalize it and let people make the money untaxed. Cool, fine.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that way things
That
a
would
lot
be
of things
great.
would fix themselves at that point.
Yeah.
May the best win.
But feds eat, but make it a smooth transition. Let's just go.
Yeah.
But there's an election to win next fucking soon. Let's not talk. Let's change the topic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So your waffles.
Yeah.
So the waffles are fucking amazing. Yo, guys, this is a great podcast.
You have a bunch of different sauces, and that's where I get excited. I can go
well,
crazy with my waffle sauce.
But you see, that's the original kind of recipe for the restaurant. Was the chicken and waffle, which is why obviously we focus on it so much. It was kind of a vehicle for flavor, right? So like and a way to also incorporate vegetarians into the mix. So we always offered a vegetarian offering, and we're always kind of even working on to refine that to a vegan offering. To be honest with you, so that's like in the plans in the future of Sweet Chick. So we're not going anywhere.
No, coming to a town near you soon.
Yeah,
right?
coming to a town near you, man, and we're a company that I think is going to hopefully stand. No, not hopefully does already, but will continue to. And we do stuff in communities and we raise funds here and there. We don't really are not very public about that, and in a way, and we want to continue that in a bigger scale as we scale up. Because this is still kind of a business thing.
Weed and Grub experience. This is so dope to just like chill with you.
Thank you guys, man. This is excellent.
Yeah,
cool. And thank you for feeding all of Top Tree Studios today.
Yeah,
man.
Yes. This is lunch.
Thank you.
Yes.
Like shout out to fucking everyone who's gonna kind of just like come through here and be like, oh my god, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How's
cool,
this?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Plug anything else again. Sweet Chick.
Oh,
Miami.
Man.
Yeah, where
New
can people
York.
find you?
Miami. We're doing a lot of stuff. We just did a party with our friends. Oh yeah, we did a pop-up in Miami. Party with our friends at Chamama Sauce. My friend Rufio. You guys gotta have Rufio on the show.
Cool.
Okay.
A lot of people, man. Damn. Shout out to High Mart. Shout out to we're smoking on that this week. Shout out to all the
I love how your plugs are
Murphos.
shouting out other people, dude.
Yeah,
That's the fucking
I'm
realist.
just thinking like who been smoking? This is a weed thing.
Yeah.
Who been smoking?
Yeah.
Cool, man. That's about it.
IG Sweet Chick. It'll all be in the show notes, all the description. Thank you.
Cool. Peace, guys.
Follow us at Weed and Grub on Instagram.
Email us at wg@weedandgrub.com.
Eat this fucking
yeah,
food
too. I
and
didn't
smoke
even
that
look
good
over that.
weed.
Find some Sweet Chick and spark one up.
There it is.
Yes. Spark it up.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.